This is my new to me 2017 Toyota 4Runner SR5 Premium, and it's a really great vehicle all around, but when I bought it, there was a piece of me that would have really liked to get into the 4Runner TRD Pro. With the TRD Pro, you're getting a fully loaded 4Runner with incredible off-road capability and a ton of luxury and tech features, as well as some really nice appearance upgrades. The TRD Pro has multi-terrain select with crawl control, it's got a locking rear differential, and it's got upgraded shocks and suspension. On the appearance side, it's got a hood scoop, it's got a revised front end with a really cool looking grille and some upgraded wheels, and then inside it's got a really nice leather interior with TRD Pro badging and a ton of luxury and tech features. Unfortunately, that model of the 4Runner is not available with a third row seat, and so it led me to buy the SR5 Premium package. Now, one great thing about the SR5 Premium is that it is less expensive than the TRD Pro, and so I feel like I saved money by not getting the TRD Pro that I could now use to put into the SR5 Premium to make it a better vehicle. On top of that, it also gives me the opportunity to really customize the vehicle to my own preferences. Because the TRD Pro comes with such a nice package, it's hard to really justify going in and changing the suspension, changing the wheels, making other modifications to the vehicle that take it away from that stock form that you spent more money on to get the vehicle to begin with. And so that's one of the nice things about the SR5 Premium, is that it gives me the opportunity to feel less bad about making changes to the vehicle, upgrading the vehicle, and using some of that cost savings from the TRD Pro to make those upgrades. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about 5 areas that I plan on making changes to my SR5 Premium. Now, one of the first areas that I want to make an improvement on the 4Runner is doing some sort of a lift or leveling kit. When the 4Runner comes stock from the factory, it's got a rake on it, which means that the rear end of the vehicle sticks up slightly higher than the front. And you can actually see that if you look at this difference between the wheel well and the tire on the rear end of the vehicle, and then we go up to the front of the vehicle and we compare it there, you'll see that it's slightly less here than what it is at the rear of the vehicle. And basically what that does is it gives the look that the front end of the vehicle is kind of crouching down, or the rear end of the vehicle is kind of sticking up. And personally, I prefer a more level look to the vehicle. And so I'm thinking of maybe doing like a 1-inch lift in the front, or potentially doing 2 inches in the front and 1 inch to the rear, just to raise the vehicle up slightly. I don't want to do a really extreme lift where I'm going to affect the overall fuel economy or aerodynamics on the vehicle too much, but I do want to improve that appearance slightly. I haven't quite decided on what type of a lift or leveling kit I'm going to do at this point. One natural option is to go with the Bilstein 5100s, in which case I can reuse the coils on the front of the vehicle, but I'm still kind of weighing options on that at the moment. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. The second area that I want to improve the SR5 Premium kind of goes along with the lift and leveling kit, and that is to upgrade the set of tires. And this is actually the highest priority on the vehicle at this point, even more so than the lift or leveling kit. The stock tires on the 4Runner aren't necessarily terrible, but they don't really give the vehicle a very aggressive look, and the traction isn't really that impressive. I also have a 2016 Toyota Tacoma, and I put a slightly oversized set of Goodyear Wrangler Ultra Terrain AT tires on that vehicle and saw a huge improvement in the traction, and it just gave the vehicle a much more aggressive appearance. Now, one of the things that I'm debating on right now with the 4Runner is whether to go with a set of 275/70 R17s or 285/70 R17s. With the 275s, my understanding is that there's no real modifications required to the body or the wheel wells of the vehicle, but if you jump up to the 285s, then you've got to do some cutting. And so the 285s would be my preference from a styling standpoint, but I don't really want to cut the vehicle. And then the other thing is that with the 275s, I won't affect the gas mileage quite as much as I would with the 285s. So at this point, I'm leaning toward the 275s, but definitely still open to the 285s. And then I'm still debating on what tire to go with, although I've been very happy with the Wrangler Ultra Terrains, and so I'm kind of leaning that direction for the 4Runner as well. While we're on the topic of suspension and tires, one of the next areas that I want to improve the 4Runner is replacing the stock wheels. And I did consider maybe powder coating these SR5 wheels. I've seen a number of 4Runners out there that have them powder coated in like a platinum, gray, or black, and they look really good. But the more that I see other 4Runners with different wheel options, I feel like I don't want to stick with the SR5 wheels. I think it's a really good way to enhance the look of the vehicle overall, and I think I'm going to go with a different set of wheels. Now, I am looking at potentially sticking with a set of stock wheels, maybe going with the TRD Off-Road or the TRD Pro wheels, and then there are a few different aftermarket brands that I'm also heavily considering. Not really sure what I'm going to do with this one at this point. Again, the tires are the higher priority, so I may replace those first, put a lift on the vehicle, and then get to wheels down the road, but we'll kind of see at this point. If there's a wheel option that you think looks particularly good on the 4Runner, I'd love to get your input on that as well in the section below. Now, as much as exterior upgrades are great and they give your car a really cool appearance, you can put really nice wheels and tires and lift kits, and yeah, they have some functionality in terms of off-road driving, but primarily it's all about giving the vehicle that really rugged appearance. And it's great to make those upgrades, but the reality is that as a driver or a passenger, you're not necessarily going to get the opportunity to fully enjoy those upgrades. And that's why it's important not to forget the interior of the vehicle and make some upgrades inside that you actually get to fully enjoy every time that you drive the vehicle. Now, one of the things I'm not crazy about on the 4Runner is that it doesn't have the best audio system. My prior vehicle was a 2013 Audi Q5, which has a really high quality premium audio system. It's got really clean, crisp sound. When you really crank it up, continues to maintain that audio quality, and then it's got a great subwoofer too. And so that's one thing I've definitely noticed with the 4Runner that's been a little bit of a disappointment, is that the sound system's not that good and definitely doesn't stack up with the Audi. And so that's one area that I'm considering upgrading the 4Runner. The other thing too, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and then I've got another baby on the way. And in a lot of ways, driving in my vehicle is kind of like a sanctuary. It's, you know, when they're not there. When they're there, it is no sanctuary. But you know, if I'm driving to work on my own, it's like my one chance to not have kids around crying and distracting me. And I can sit in the car and I can crank up my music and have a little bit of a break. And so it's a really therapeutic, I guess, for me to be able to have really high quality audio system and have that opportunity to really crank up the music inside. I love the acoustics inside of a vehicle with all the leather seating or cloth seating and padding throughout the vehicle. It's going to be one of the best environments for really cranking the music up. If you're outside or if you're in your living room or something, you're never going to get quite the same audio experience that you will inside of the vehicle. And so that's another kind of motivation for doing an upgrade. I mentioned before that I've got a 2016 Tacoma, and that vehicle has the JBL system, and I have been very disappointed with the JBL audio system. And I'm not the only one. There are a lot of other third generation Tacoma owners out there that have complained about this system. And I've done quite a bit of research to see what I could do to try to improve that system. And actually, I had some viewers on a video that I posted kind of lamenting about the system that said, hey, go check out OEM Audio Plus. And so I went to OEM Audio Plus's website, and they're working on an upgrade for JBL Tacomas. They don't have it complete just yet, but they've received some of that same feedback where people are complaining about the system and they're working on an upgrade. I contacted them and they're trying to get something in place by the end of this year or early next year. However, they do have a non-JBL system already for the Tacoma, and I dug into that a little bit more, just kind of out of curiosity, and watching videos, looking at a number of various blogs that focus on the Tacoma. There are really good positive reviews on that system. Now, obviously, that doesn't help me at all with my Tacoma because it's a JBL Tacoma. Hopefully, they'll get a system in place for the JBL system and maybe be an option that I could consider for that vehicle. But when I got the 4Runner and I was kind of disappointed with the system here, I thought, well, if OEM Audio Plus makes a system for the Tacoma non-JBLs, why wouldn't they do the same thing for the non-JBL 4Runners? And so looked into it, and sure enough, they do have a system for the non-JBL 4Runners. And again, looking at some of the blogs and reviews, people are very impressed with the sound quality. Now, they've got two different systems that I'm considering. One of the systems is like a full upgrade, new amplifier, subwoofer, speakers throughout. That system's $1,800, and so it's going to give you really high quality premium sound, but $1,800 is also a lot to invest in an audio system. The nice thing is that they have a less expensive kind of budget option at $650 that's just a speaker replacement. And the great thing about the speaker replacement system is that it's plug and play. So from what I've read, it looks like a super easy install and really good results in terms of improved sound quality. So that's a system I'm really considering. And then I also used to have a Crosstrek, and the speakers in the Crosstrek and the 4Runner are similar, and there's a kicker upgrade system that's also plug and play. I did that in my Crosstrek, and in the Crosstrek, the sound system is terrible in stock form. So at least in the 4Runner, it's tolerable. Crosstrek, it just like hurts your ears. And so putting the kicker system in that vehicle kind of raised the bar a little bit to where it was tolerable. It was never a system that I got that excited about though. I felt like I should have gone a little bit more premium with it. And so that's the one concern going with the kicker system. I might save a little bit of money over the 650 OEM Audio Plus system, but I probably won't be that satisfied with it overall, and so I'm leaning toward the OEM Audio Plus system. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that this specific 4Runner has a third row seat, which is a really handy feature unless you're actually going to go somewhere with 7 people and you need to take any cargo with you. The thing is that when that third row seat is in use, there's virtually no cargo space inside of the 4Runner. Now there is an easy solution for that. The 4Runner has this stock set of side rails, and so I'm going to get a set of crossbars, and then I want to install a rooftop box on top to be able to transport those things around. So if I want to go skiing with 6 people, we can sit inside the vehicle comfortably and we can put their skis on top. So I'm looking at a few different cargo box options, a few different options from Thule, and then another option that I'm seriously considering is the Inno Wedge 660. It's got a really sleek design and I feel like it'd look really good on the 4Runner. So those are the first 5 modifications that I'm considering to my 2017 Toyota 4Runner. I'd love to get your comments in the section below. If you think there are any other products I should be considering within these 5 categories, let me know. And then if there are other modifications you think I should be considering, I'm always open to other suggestions as well. To stay up to date on my continued progress with the 4Runner, make sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.